Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we are taking a super fascinating journey straight from the kitchen stove right to the dining table. We're looking at a deeply rooted tradition that is literally as nourishing as it is comforting. I'm talking about the traditional dish known as uji. It's this incredible example of culinary heritage where just everyday, basic staples somehow evolve into something completely extraordinary. Okay, let's dive into this and explore exactly how a few basic ingredients can transform into a beloved, nutrient-dense staple.
So, what makes a simple porridge a superfood? It's a great question, right? Because, well, on the surface, porridge just seems like the most basic meal imaginable. Just a humble, warm bowl of grains. But as we're going to unpack today, uji's profile is simple, yet undeniably powerful. We're going to trace its whole journey, from raw, unprocessed ingredients sitting in a pot all the way to a finished medicinal-grade meal that supports our health across the entire human lifespan.
First up, Section 1, the Golden Cooking Rule.
This brilliantly illustrates the cardinal rule of making uji. Notice the raw flour? The source material is absolutely clear on this point. You really shouldn't consume your uji while it's still in this raw state. It's just not advisable. Eating raw flour like this can totally disrupt your digestion and basically negate all those amazing benefits we're trying to unlock in the first place. Instead, you've got to wait for that visual cue. Look for the bubbling pot. You have to wait for those bubbles to form. That's your green light. It means the heat has done its job, the starches have gelatinized, the whole transformation is complete, and yep, it's finally time to indulge.
Breaking this down, we are looking at an incredibly simple two-step process. Step 1, you just mix your raw flour, a bit of sugar, and water right into the pot. Get it all fully integrated. But step 2, well, that requires a little bit of patience. See, before you start cooking, everything in that pot is totally raw and, to be honest, kind of hard on the human digestive system. You absolutely must allow it sufficient time to cook over the heat. Just watch the pot, let the heat work its magic to break down all those complex starches, and only serve it when you see those bubbles actively forming. Seriously, this patience is exactly what turns an inedible mix into a deeply comforting meal.
Let's move on to Section 2, simple yet powerful ingredients.
The foundation of this comforting meal is strikingly humble. Uji literally consists of just three things. You've got sugar for a quick touch of sweetness and energy, water as your life-giving base, and then the true star of the show, a multi-flour blend. It's pretty amazing to think that such an accessible trio of everyday ingredients can create a meal with such wide-reaching nutritional value. Especially today, in an era of highly processed foods and mile-long ingredient lists, there's just this profound power in sheer simplicity.
Now, what's really interesting here is breaking down that multi-flour blend because it reveals something super fascinating. This isn't just your standard baking flour that's been totally stripped of its nutrients. Oh no! Traditional uji flour features specific, robust whole grains: millet, sorghum, and quinoa. By combining these three distinct grains, the dish moves way beyond just a simple carbohydrate snack. It becomes this complex, multi-grain powerhouse. Each grain brings its own unique profile of vitamins, minerals, and proteins right into the pot, synergizing into something that is far, far greater than the sum of its parts.
Which brings us right into Section 3, good for your guts.
So, the crucial point is this. The source material explicitly highlights that this specific combination is deeply, deeply beneficial for your digestive system. But why exactly? Well, let's take millet, for example. Millet is incredibly rich in dietary fiber, particularly prebiotic fiber. Now, this specific type of fiber doesn't just, pass right through you. It actually acts as highly targeted food for the good bacteria already living in your gut microbiome. When those good bacteria feed on the prebiotic fiber from the millet, they absolutely thrive. This helps to stabilize your whole gut environment, reduce inflammation, and aid in exceptionally smooth digestion. So while we might think of porridge simply as a quick way to feel full and warm on a chilly morning, this traditional uji blend is secretly in there doing active, microscopic work to optimize your gut health every single day. Talk about a hidden superpower.
And that naturally leads us to Section 4, a multi-generational superfood.
This timeline perfectly captures a really beautiful story, the story of an entire human lifespan, told through a single dish. Starting in infancy, uji serves a vital role. In fact, it's often remembered as one of the very first solid foods given to kids when they're weaning off milk. Because it's so easily digestible, it acts as the perfect bridge to solid foods.
Then, moving into adulthood, it seamlessly transitions into a daily staple. It powers a busy morning as a hearty breakfast or provides sustenance as a super comforting afternoon snack. And finally, in motherhood, it takes on this highly specific biological role, utilized intentionally to help boost milk production. So really, from your very first solid bites to the moment you are nourishing a child of your own, uji just never stops providing essential value.
Just consider this specific powerful benefit highlighted by the source. Uji is, quote, ideal for breastfeeding mothers because it helps boost milk production. I mean, that is just a brilliant testament to the power of traditional foods, isn't it? Just think about it. A simple blend of millet, sorghum, quinoa, water, and sugar, cooked patiently until those bubbles form, serves a completely critical biological function. It provides targeted support exactly when the human body needs it the most. It beautifully bridges the gap between mere sustenance and functional medicine, all wrapped up in a warm, comforting bowl.
So, we've seen how remarkably simple the ingredients are. We've learned the golden rule of waiting for those bubbles to ensure optimal digestion, and we've explored its incredible, gut-healing, multi-generational impact. It might just be time to get a pot on the stove, practice a little patience, and indulge in this tradition yourself. But before we go, this leaves us with a really fascinating thought to take away. If a totally basic bowl of porridge can hold this much hidden nutritional power and literally sustain multiple generations, what other simple traditional childhood staples might be hiding in plain sight as incredible superfoods? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.